Redditors who are 50 years old, what has changed the most about working when you started working versus working nowadays? So much business is done over text message. That was an adjustment for me. I left the corporate workplace in 2008ish and texting wasn't like it is today. I got back to working with a group of people a few years later and realized a lot of conversations and decisions were made via text. And also, since it was a professional setting, I had to really start to pay attention to grammar, spelling, typos, etc. Now, texting is a huge part of how I communicate with customers and my team. People don't read emails anymore. It was expected and accepted to take office supplies home. Almost everyone did it and it wasn't looked at like the evil act it is today. No, I'm not dying to steal from my job, but it's just an interesting difference. Health insurance. I don't think I need to elaborate on how that's gone. Christmas bonuses were much more common. Damn, I keep trying to think of changes for the better. Lol. Oh, well, at least the pay is the same. Smiley face. I could get away from work by leaving, but now I am never away from work with technology now. I had to wear a suit every day as an engineer, now it's very casual. A lot of the processes and procedures were much more specific and detailed, but now it's much more relaxed. Shit people said at work 30 years ago would never be heard today. HR existed and helped with career planning and people strategy, and no idea what they do now. Men had to wear suit tie to work every day and women had to wear what our company defined as interview attire, professional dress pantsuit. I remember when our first Jeans Friday was implemented, our manager wore jeans to support the effort, but they were ironed with a crease down the middle. Hilarious. Now, for the same role at the same company, people work remote and wear sweats or whatever the hell they want. Internet. When I started working, internet didn't exist. And later cloud. When cloud came out, it was a second revolution to me. Accessing all info from different computers without carrying USB key, external drives etc. When I started working on a computer, the most advanced OS was DOS, where you just stared at a blank screen where a blinking cursor was waiting for your commands. Sad, huh? Dress codes are now laxer. We can work WFH now. It wasn't technologically possible back then. Back then we also got away with a lot more joking around and goofing off, and a lot of conversations back then could now get us reported for sexual harassment if the wrong person would have overheard and reported it. But I also see a lot more entitlement surrounding benefits. I watched office work go from sedentary to virtually immobile. We used to retrieve paper files, pass memos around, consult with co-workers in other sections and floors. Now everything is available on the screen in front of us, everything can be shared with a few clicks. It's convenient, but so unhealthy. Doctor. Less likely to be literally worked to death due to so-called safe hour rules, where 23 and 26-hour shifts without sleep are now banned. Officially anyway. Also, the newer residents are pushing back against unpaid overtime and taking hospital management to court and winning for unpaid wages. Sending a memo meant typing something, sometimes on an actual typewriter. Physically passing said document to the people in the to line. They would sign their initials signifying they read it, then pass on to the next. I remember people used to smoke cigarettes in their office. Workplace was a lot looser in how coworkers interacted with one another. I would say there was more camaraderie back then. Now no one even wants to work around other people, let alone socialize. Using a PC had inherent risk. When the system memory was used up, it simply stopped working. No ability to save any work was lost since your last save. This led to obsessive saving of all docs. My mom said back in the 80s some people would do coke at work. Also, a lot of sexual harassment happened a lot and no one ever did anything about it. This was at a government job, people smoking indoors. Clouds of smoke everywhere in the office and no way for a non-smoker to avoid it. That was the norm, so you just had to suck it up. We took a company van with a logo on it to take out-of-town guests to a strip club. I don't even think I can say that out loud at work today. I'm 42 but feel like I want to chime in. Health and safety has changed loads. You wouldn't get away with half the shit we did when I was 17. Direct deposit. No more waiting in line Friday afternoon or most of Saturday morning at the bank to cash your paycheck with everyone else. I've only been in the workforce 10 years, but letting people do whatever on their phones all day wasn't as accepted back then. What has changed the most about working when you started working versus working nowadays? I get paid a fuck ton more. Corporations are so corporate now with so many rules and regulations. It was not anything like this 30 years ago. Skirts, dresses and pantyhose required of women in many offices through 1990s. We don't get paid in envelopes with cash in them anymore.